Hey guys, this is going to be a feeding video, so I just wanted to warn people, if you don't want to see me try to feed frozen thawed rodents to my snakes, then you should probably turn away or shut off the video. So yeah, it's been about a week since I got my two new snakes, ball pythons, and it's time to try to feed them. I have rat fuzzies thawing under a heat lamp near the snake tubs where I'm hoping the scent will radiate and entice them to eat. It's also the evening. Just a tip for people, try to feed during the evening hours and not during the day. They are more active at night. And definitely try to have a nice, quiet, calm environment when you do try to feed them. I'm really hoping they'll take these frozen thawed, so let's go give it a try. Okay, so here's my Mojave Enchi Hypo female. And I just wanted to let everyone know, if a snake is acting up, refusing, or you're trying to switch from live to frozen thawed, first off, you need to feed them every 7 days, not every day or every other day, because if they're refusing, then every time you're continuously trying to feed them, you are enabling them or allowing them to continue that not eating type of behavior, and that's not good. Also, you need to give your snake a few days to a week to settle in. 4 to 7 days before you offer your new snake its first meal. Okay, here's my second one, my 100% het pied female. Okay, so it is now week 2 of trying to feed my new ball pythons, frozen thawed specifically here. Last week they would not eat. I tried to feed them frozen thawed rat fuzzies. One of them snubbed it completely. She did end up shedding a few days later though, so I'm hoping that has something to do with it. The second one, as you see in the video, did attack, but she didn't end up eating it. She just left it. So right now I have some adult mice thawing under a heat lamp to get to temperature near the tubs. Both of the snakes are out of their hides. So I'm really hoping that the smell is enticing them. And I also let the mice sit with some used gerbil bedding that I acquired from Petco earlier. And I don't know, I'm really excited. I really hope it works. So cross your fingers and let's see. When trying to switch your ball python from live to frozen, a trick some people use is they will take dirty mice, rat, or this is from a gerbil, dirty or used gerbil bedding that has the scent of that animal, and just letting your frozen thawed rodent thaw out in a bag with the bedding just so that the fresh scent can get on it. Sometimes it helps, and gerbils are the closest thing you can get to African soft fur, which African soft furs are what ball pythons eat in the wild. So sometimes having that gerbil scent can possibly help, or so they say. And when trying to switch your ball python from live to frozen, sometimes you're going to have to try many different things to get them to finally take it. Here is my Mojave Enchi Het Hypo again. And here's my Het Pied again. Yes. Now here's an extra snake I have. Not one of my new ones, but she usually takes frozen thawed rat fuzzies no problem. This is the first time I'm offering her a mouse though. Okay, so tonight was a huge success, 100%. I am so happy and I hope they continue doing well and continue eating the frozen thawed. The reason why I am so against live feeding, actually, you know what? I'm going to have to make a whole different video because this video would end up being so long from me talking about all the reasons why. So if you are still feeding your snake live, I highly, highly recommend you follow these suggestions that I am showing and telling you and switch to frozen thawed ASAP. So keep your eyes peeled for that video that I will be posting very, very soon about the difference between live and frozen thawed. So anyway, if I didn't show or name it during the video, I wanted to name it now. I just wanted to kind of list a little summary on tips and ways to help you switch from live to frozen thawed. First and foremost, make sure your ball python or other snake, any snake, make sure their husbandry and their housing, vivarium, tub, whatever you have them in, make sure that's all proper. Like, it's basic stuff. Make sure they have the proper temps, humidity, hides, etc., etc. Secondly, like I said in the video, you can try that dropping technique once they are actually paying attention to the snake and they look in tight. Not the snake, the rodent, sorry. Once they are actually paying attention to the rodent and they look enticed, you can just simply drop it. Sometimes they'll strike, sometimes they won't. It did not work on my girl. Maybe I just didn't do it correctly. I don't know. Anyway, make sure the temperatures, the rodents are proper. Sorry, it's late. So that would mean make sure you're thawing it out properly. There's several different ways to thaw out your rodent. You can either let your rodent sit in the fridge, all day, put it in the night before and let it sit in there. And then you can take it out and either let it sit on the counter for a little while. But then you would have to make sure that it's hot enough even if you did that. So what you would do is you would either stick your rodent in hot water directly. Make sure you add Reptisafe to that water if your rodent is in there. I recommend putting them in a Ziploc bag so that the rodent just stays dry. That way you don't have to add Reptisafe and that rodent isn't getting wet. So therefore it'll keep all its scent a lot better than if it's submerged underwater. This time and last time, I actually set a heat lamp up near my snake tubs. I placed a little pan underneath and I put the rodents in that. So it heated up the rodents near the snake tubs. And while they were heating up, the smell was getting in the air and it was getting the snakes interested before I even offered them. So that's another tip you could try. Make sure your environment is nice and quiet and calm. Make sure there's no loud noises or I actually turn down the lights, so they know that it's nighttime, because sometimes that's another tip. Try feeding at nighttime versus the day. They're nocturnal, so therefore they're more active, and nighttime is when they would be interested in hunting and all those types of things. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Make sure the environment around them is nice and quiet and calm. My problem is I have lots of little kitties and little doggies and little humans that like to run around, and that can distract them and everything. Once your snake does take that rodent, make sure to just go away and leave it alone. Make sure there's no movement around or anything like that could distract that snake, because the snake could then just like drop the rodent and then look at wherever that movement or whatever is, thinking it's another prey item going by, so make sure things are nice and calm so that they don't get stressed out, so that they can focus on what they need to do, which is eating. Okay, so the next thing is mouse or rat. If they're not taking a mouse, try a rat. If they're not taking a rat, try a mouse. A lot of them would be more interested in mice, what I've seen. Mice, I don't know why, but for some reason they take mice a lot easier than they take rats. I really honestly don't know why, and it's probably not scientifically proven or anything, but it's just what I've seen the most. Again, it's probably not true, but I just said it anyway. So you can try that. Being patient, that's what you need to do. You need to be patient. You don't just dangle the rat or the mouse, and then if they don't instantly take it, say, oh no, and give up, like sit there and try a little bit. Try different ways of holding the mouse. Try different ways of moving around the mouse or rat. And if that doesn't work, some people will just leave the rodent overnight in case it will end up taking it, but I don't do that. And you definitely can't do it if it's live. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. Again, watch for my other video and you'll know why. And sizes, you got to make sure that you have the proper size rodent. If it's way too large or way too small, sometimes they just, you got to have the proper size rodent. If you're unsure what size rodent you need, there's tons of videos explaining what sizes to what snake, what the sizing is. Usually the thickest part of your snake's body, that's how big of a size prey item they can take. So you don't go getting a mouse that's the size of your snake's head. That's not how it goes. They can actually open their mouth really, really wide. They can stretch really, really wide, and they can fit down a lot bigger than what their head is. So definitely look at the middle of your snake's body, that thickest part. That's how big of a rodent you will need. And if you're a little unsure of which size, rodent to get, a little bit smaller is a little bit better. It's a little better than getting something that's way too big. So that's my recommendation. And old bedding, like I said earlier in the video, trying some old bedding from like a mouse or a rat. Gerbil bedding would be best, because gerbils are really good. They really like gerbils. They'll take a gerbil usually very fast, because they're the closest, again, to an African soft fur you could get, and that's what they would eat in Africa. So if you can go to a local pet store, or if you have a friend that has a gerbil, just ask them if you could have a little bit of their bedding and try rubbing it on the rodent. But anyway, the temps of the rodents are what's really going to matter. Again, get those temperatures correct for your rodents. And I hope things work out for you. Good luck. If there's anything I didn't mention or missed, please leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, I will definitely answer you. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up and please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Have a good night.